So today I want to do a bit of a story time video. It's actually 3 stories into one, and it's kind of 3 changing room experiences that I've had. Excuse the awkward location, I've just moved houses and I haven't figured out like a filming angle, plus there's stuff I really still need to unpack. Whoops. So we'll go from the worst to the best. So my worst experience was a bit ridiculous. It was in Primark, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but when it comes to Primark changing rooms, I bloody hate them. I feel like I have never had a solidly good experience there. What happened was I was at Westfields and I wanted to try on a pair of jeans, and I was standing in a queue, as all the other guys were. I went up to the changing room clerk guy with my jeans and he was like, oh, the ladies is upstairs. And I said to him, oh, well, you know, I'm going to the men's, like, why should I go to the ladies? And he said to me, oh, you know, but the ladies is upstairs, I can't let you in here. And I was like, dude, I'm a guy. And he was like, yeah, but I still can't let you in. And I was like, what do you mean you still can't let me in? Like, if someone's told you there are a guy, he has no right to question it like that or say, I still can't let you in. It's as if, oh yeah, you're a guy, but you're not guy enough for me. Like, I don't understand. At the time, I wasn't that confident about pulling the whole trans card. So I just said to him, I was like, you know, just because my testosterone levels are low doesn't mean I'm not a dude. And he was like, yeah, but the women's changing rooms are upstairs. But I just didn't get it. I just didn't get this man. And eventually I just got so annoyed that I just chucked my pair of jeans down on the table and walked off. And then he was screaming behind me and he was just like, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. And I just walked off. I walked straight out. I told my girlfriend at the time and she was ready to go out there and punch him, but I didn't let her. Yeah, I had no time for that. Went next door, went to H&M, got a great pair of jeans. Their loss, basically. That was a pretty bad experience. I mean, it doesn't sound that bad in hindsight, but at the time it was really all overwhelming and there were loads of people because it's Primark and changing rooms are busy and it was horrible. But moving on to the next experience, which was also at Primark, what a surprise. This one's slightly better, like it could have been a lot better, but it was definitely kind of showing the way it could have been handled as opposed to the way it was handled in the first instance. So at this one, this was before I went to Primark again. It was a quieter Primark, kind of more local to where I live. And I went to the changing rooms as normal, you know, I had my stuff with me. And the lady was like, oh, you know we have a ladies' changing room downstairs, right? And I said, oh, I want to use these changing rooms. And she was like, oh, are you sure? And I was like, what do you mean, am I sure? It's like, I wouldn't, you know, like if someone walked into the wrong changing rooms and you went, oh, this is actually like the men's, and you weren't intending to go there, you'd be like, oh my gosh, where's the ladies? Like, obviously if I still want to go there, then you know, like I'm aware of what it is. I just don't understand is the thing. I can't even explain it because I don't understand it. So we just had this kind of like back and forth of me being sure and her asking me if I'm sure. It felt like it took years. I'm sure it was just like 3 exchanges, but felt so long. And then she just kind of tapped me on the shoulder and she said, well, if you want, hun. And I was like, why be so patronizing about it? Also, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. So yeah, that was another one. A kind of mini story from Primark that I wasn't going to include, but I just remembered. There was also a person who was questioning me, and bless my friend, I literally only came out to her like 10 minutes before this. She, yeah, we were at the changing room queue and she was queuing next to me, and then she said, oh, like someone cut in front of me or something, and she was like, oh, my boyfriend was here first. And then the man kind of gave me like a, huh, kind of a look, but he let me in anyway, and I think that kind of saved it. But again, another one of those where it's like, dude, I know what queue I'm in. If the queue I'm in is full of men, if I didn't belong with the men, I think I'd probably notice by now. So here comes like the story. This is a story that I tell like nearly everyone, and it kind of goes from really awkward to okay, but it was a roller coaster of an experience, just the whole story. This was at local gym. It's a pure gym, and I was going to the changing rooms as per usual, and this guy opened the door in front of me, and then he saw me behind him, so he kept the door open, and then he looked at me again and he was like, oh, the lady's just there. It seems to be a reoccurring theme with me, huh? And then I said to him, I was like, oh no, I'm a guy. and he just kind of got so awkward. He was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I just, you know, and I was like, it's fine. And he held the door open for me and let me in, and then I walked in. But that's not the end of the story. So obviously he had questioned me once, so I was already feeling insecure, like even though he got convinced that, you know, everything's fine and that I am just a dude that's slightly effeminate, or maybe he thought I was younger or something. I don't know what he thought, but anyway, I was feeling a bit on edge about it, and I went to get changed, and then he ended up waiting for the guy who was changing next to me. So I'm alright changing, wearing a binder in the gym. I've gotten used to it, I've gotten quite positive about it, because, you know, most people don't know what a binder is. If someone does know what a binder is, they're not going to be asked to you about why you're in that changing room, because those people are usually more open-minded. Most people don't know what a binder is. And otherwise people will just think it's like a medical brace or something like that. And I've got a whole binder positivity video, which I will link down below if you want to hear more of my thoughts on that and why I'm kind of alright getting changed in places in a binder. But anyway, at that point, I wasn't, because he had already questioned me, and I was like, I don't know, what if he looks at this, he thinks it's weird, what if he questions me again, what if he thinks it's a bra and I was lying, I don't know. I just had this huge conundrum, and I was standing there trying to stall. My friend was texting me like, dude, why are you taking so long, like why are you changing for so long? And I was just taking my sweet time. I went to the toilet, I washed my face, I put more deodorant on, like I just tried to do everything to slow down. And then I don't think he realised I was actually standing next to him, because I heard him saying, oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. He was saying what happened, and he said, oh, you know, it's happened to me before, which I really struggle to believe, because he was like a bear, and aside from being like a bear, he was just so masked. But I guess you never know. Yeah, so he was definitely thinking about it, and I think he felt a bit bad. When he eventually walked away, I got changed and everything was fine. But I didn't go back to the gym for quite a little while after that, just because it just caused me so much anxiety. Like, even though it ended okay, it was a wild ride from start to finish, to say the least. Those are the few times that I've actually tried to correct people. I often don't correct people just because it gets too awkward. A lot of people tell me to correct people at work, because I have a lot of customers who will misgender me. They often call me miss or ma'am, and every single time I correct someone, it just ends up being a nightmare. Yeah, I might make another storytime video about all the different times I've corrected customers and that went wrong, and which will probably explain why I don't really do it much anymore. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I don't want to scare you. Changing rooms aren't always evil, so those are like 3, well, kind of 4 if you include the small one with my friend. 4 examples of changing room experiences, and I've been to many a changing room, and I've been to the gym changing room a million times, and I've been to loads and loads of clothes shopping ones, and genuinely all of my experiences are normally okay. You often get the look, if you know what I mean. You'll know what I mean. You can often get the look, but aside from that, like, no one usually questions it, because why should they? Most people are decent enough not to. It just seems to be Primark that's the worst. So don't worry about changing rooms. I mean, I can't say that, because you will worry. I mean, I didn't go to a changing room for months because of something, but on a general note, you should be fine. It was just, these are just isolated incidents of people who don't make sense. Okay. If you like this video, give it a little like, especially if you want more storytime videos, because then I know that you like them. If you have any of your own stories to contribute or anything, then shoot me a comment down below. And if you'd like to be updated on my journey and on my videos, then please do consider subscribing. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.